G'day, Bitcoin. The Fed did not raise interest rates. We will go over the key double think. I mean, they're talking points. Billionaires, they are dumping stock, while Saylor has bought 1% of the entire Bitcoin supply. Here's the 1%, we are going to talk about this attack from MicroStrategy on the fiat dollar. And other news, Greenpeace, they're at it again with this asinine propaganda campaign against Bitcoin. This is the second time they've done it. They were paid the first time. We'll dive into that. And Coinbase went down surprisingly. Let's dive into today's Bitcoin news with the fast facts. Let's start off with the gold bug. Peter Schiff, he's actually got it right and actually is pretty good with the macro. Powell is wrong. Monetary policy has not been restrictive and it's not putting downward pressure on inflation. Fed policy is still too loose, which is why both the public and private sectors are spending too much and saving too little. Larger, therefore CPI gains will follow. Two talking points here. Federal Reserve kept the Fed funds rate left unchanged Wednesday, and most Fed officials are penciling in three rate cuts, ladies and gentlemen, for 2024. The rate target remained at 525 to 550 basis points, a 23-year high. Now playing Fed Chair Jerome Powell's press conference was just live. I have got the key talking points. We'll dive into that shortly, but just a reminder that billionaires like Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Jamie Dimon and the Walden family are selling off massive amounts of their own stock, and analysts think the CEOs may be bracing for an economic downturn. Things are starting to feel a little bit overheated, not so much with Bitcoin, but with the rest of the stock market. That flight to safety may be more important now than ever before. He did say they are at an overheated stock market continues to climb to new heights as investors feed on the current environment. So, Michael Saylor, the attack on the US dollar. This is just a couple of fast things we'll fly through, and then we'll dive into a few more things a whole lot deeper. So, MicroStrategy has acquired an additional 9,245 Bitcoin. What a goat. This guy can't stop, won't stop. He's obviously put in the proof of work. He's read the books. He's not eating the bugs. Nearly 10,000 Bitcoin for one corporation, one entity. Larry Fink saying Bitcoin is a flight to quality. People diving straight into it. Obviously, Michael Saylor's been on this mission for a long time. BlackRock has more Bitcoin than Saylor does. But is Saylor going to go for 2% now? Is he going to stop? I don't think he's going to stop ever because it's going up forever, Laura. Now, that was $623 million using proceeds from convertible notes and excess cash for $67,382 per Bitcoin. The price at the moment is actually below that. Let's get rid of the ship coins there in the background. We are at 65,723. We'll dive into the block clock shortly. Michael Saylor's just happy to buy, stack, and chill. Doesn't care about what the price is, and maybe that's a good takeaway here is just to buy, stack, and chill. Anyway, they hold 214,000 Bitcoin, or 214,246. That 246 Bitcoin is very substantial, acquired for $7.53 billion. Average price, though, only $35,160. That is the power of DCA with Bitcoin there. Somebody yesterday in the comments, I won't dox you, asked how many shares of MicroStrategy to get to 1 BTC. Quick little Google search, about 170. That was current yesterday. It's probably gone down a little bit now that buy has been announced. CJK, we had CJK on here, CJ Konstantinos. USA Fed Reserve is trapped. If they lower interest rates, $5 trillion will no longer be incentivized to save. $5 trillion will come rushing into assets, goods and services, pushing up prices, further lowering quality of life and standard of living here in the USA. If they raise interest rates, there would be a temporary sell-off of assets moving into T-bills. Higher interest rates means larger interest expense for the gov to deficit spend plus roll over their debts. This leads to more inflation as currency units must be expanded to finance deficit plus service debts. Increase cost structures for producers and businesses, high cost squeeze margins and pass through a higher price inflation, shrinkflation, etc., furthering the lower quality of life and standard of living here in the USA. Happening everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. It is just not specific to the USA. I know that doesn't allow anyone to sleep easier at night, that it's happening everywhere. Obviously, we've got that escape hatch, the life raft, which is Bitcoin. So just please buy, stack, and chill, ladies and gentlemen. So Notice the result of both of these actions: lower quality of life and standard of living here in the USA. There's only one way to escape this ongoing inflationary recession, which will soon turn into depression. Opt out of the fiat currency unit. And just really quickly, shout out to everyone that is watching live, watching the replay. We will get into a little bit of a banter at the end. It is good to see Randall, Simon, Brendan, Average Geo, Young Kings, Tony Love, Simon Picala, Gargoyle, Austin, Not Kevin, Johnny, the Greek in the house, and Gargoyle. Good to see everyone watching live. If you can smash the like button, helps out a lot. Coinbase, they went down again, not surprisingly. It's pretty interesting. Hey, this happens over and over and over again. What game are they playing? We do have 69 viewers watching live at the minute. 369, the numbers of the universe, according to Nikola Tesla. Now, Coinbase struggling again. 3 strikes and you're out. At strike, we do not. S-Coin, Bitcoin only. All buys and sell fees on strike will be. Well, I did not plan that. 69 people, and we have 69.69% for all US users for the next hour. Coinbase says transactions may experience intermittent failures. Why? How? How's this keep happening? Jumping into the block clock here. It is at block height 835,561. Exchange rate, we'll dive into the chart. It's pretty cool. It has pumped because they have kept interest rates where they were. They didn't raise them. They didn't lower them. They've just gone for another pause. But exchange rate 65,632. You still get a beautiful 1,524 Satoshis per US dollar. Every $10, that's 15,224. Ladies and gentlemen, make the most of it. This opportunity, it's not going to last a very long time. Bitcoin is taking over the world. Truly, it's a glorious time. It's a glorious thing to be here right now. Go as hard as you can. If you're new to Bitcoin, welcome. We've got the halving coming up. Interest rates are going to come down. They are going to start money printing as well. What's that mean? Number go up, technology. Bitcoin had limited supply. The supply is getting cut in half. Supply shock meets demand shock. It's going up forever, Laura. It's classed as a meme, but there's a lot of truth in there. So make the most of that one, ladies and gentlemen. Real quick shout out to today's sponsor, the Bitcoin Way. These guys are absolutely sensational. The team is so good. They've got 25 years of cybersecurity experience. Safety and Moose, the author of the Bitcoin Standard, recommends them. This is what he had to say. The Bitcoin Way is a service I'd always wanted. If you're worried, if you're not sleeping at night, reach out to the Bitcoin Way. The first 30 minutes is free. They can help you with air-gapped wallets, learn to verify your own Bitcoin, help you set up a node, use the node, bypassing third parties, become ungovernable, become a sovereign individual. They can help you out, make sure your wallets are not leaking your data, making sure hackers cannot access your computer, which is the biggest thing, making sure everything is all air gaps, make sure malware infected USB cables and flash drives do not exist in your setup. Whether you've been here for a little while or for a long time, if you're not sleeping properly, if you need a little bit of help, if you just want somebody to go over it, they never touch your keys, they never touch your coins, reach out to Tony and the team today. There is a link at the top of the description. First 30 minutes is free. Now, we have had a little bit of a pullback lately, and a couple of people are freaked out. I've been buying. I hope you have been buying as well. These dips, they don't last forever. We've already pumped about $1,000 odd today. We'll dive into the chart shortly. It's not about the fiat dollars of what your net worth is at the minute. At the moment, it's about making sure those Satoshis increase. Those fractions of a Bitcoin are always going up. If you can do it on a daily basis, great. Weekly basis, great. If it's a fortnightly or monthly basis, get that Bitcoin stack as high as you can. Bitcoin's taken over the world, and I've been thinking, contemplating, why are gold bugs, especially Peter Schiff, so salty on Bitcoin? It's because Bitcoin's a better gold than gold, and we're already seeing that being implemented. Maybe just buy a little bit just in case it catches on. And, you know, often I say that's not financial advice. If you need some advice, buy Bitcoin. Truly. You've got this opportunity in time. Own whatever percent it is of 21 million or infinity divided by 21 million. It's really important. As Nico Moran says, it is Bitcoin or slavery. Regardless of if the dollar fails this year, the world goes into chaos, or it doesn't, Bitcoin's moving us towards freedom. Living on a Bitcoin standard, the longer you're on it, the freer you become. Please just make the opportunity. Seize the opportunity. You've got this moment in time, so please buy, stack, and chill. Fuck it, that is financial advice. Make the most of it. It's good to have everybody here. Now, Joe Kernan, pretty cool. Sometimes people use the stock to flow model to try to value Bitcoin and compare it to gold. When you do have a halvening, you're going to have half as much over the next year to base your stock to flow on. Just by my math, if it is worth X, it will be worth 2X. We won't play all this video, 2 minutes 40, a little bit long, but we will play about a minute of it. Let's go.
Sometimes people use a stock to flow model to try to value Bitcoin, and they compare it to gold. When you do have a halving, you're going to have half as much over that next year to base your stock to flow on. I mean, just by math, if it was worth X, it should be worth 2X.
Yes, assuming that, of course, I think the criticism is the other side is it is already baked in. Bitcoin is not like gold. Gold is actually pretty steady in terms of the percentage of inflation on a yearly basis, and maybe we shouldn't call it inflation, new gold that is actually dug from the ground. Bitcoin is programmatic and algorithmic. That we know exactly what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, when the halving will happen. So it's very easy to predict what is the total supply, which will never pass 21 million.
So with gold, when prices go up, more people can try and find more. So it's not, you can't count on exactly what the fixed rate of production per year is.
Yeah, just because Bitcoin builds the financial system back better.
That changes. With Bitcoin, it can't change.
That is correct. And gold has been pretty steady, but Bitcoin is cryptographic and it is code.
It is code, and it's mathematics. All that taken into consideration can still be either worth, at any given time, be worth 17,000 or 65,000, or 75,000. What do you?
Yeah, it's funny. He was trying to go a little bit low there, and he's like, "Oh, it's already above 60,000. I need to go a little bit higher." And then when it's at 75,000, yeah, I need to go to 100,000. That's the power of Bitcoin. Joe's obviously pro Bitcoin, but fun to see there.
I know you're talking 7 to 10 years, but can it go back to 40,000? Will it go back to 40,000?
The exciting part about being a venture investor is that you're looking at investments that have to be able to 10x at least. That
has to be able to 10x at least, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin is going up into the right forever. Please just buy some. Fuck it. Stop. Just buy as much Bitcoin. It's, I don't know. Yeah, somebody said buy a house 30 years ago. They're going to get in trouble? No. It's like buying Bitcoin now. Just buy it as much as possible. And understand it's some of the world's rarest. It's the world's rarest thing. Basically, the world's scarcest verifiable monetary technology. I'm not going to read all of this. It's absolutely huge, but I am going to repost it at Sean Clark 911. I just want to read the top 2 paragraphs here. I thought it was really good. Nietzsche Horse, over the last 40 years, while interest rates dropped from 17.5 to near 0% M2, or the total amount of money that exists, increased 1,300%. That means $1 today compared to all the dollars that existed when rates were that high 40 years ago is only worth 8 cents. 8 cents, $1 into 8 cents in 40 years on the dollar compared to then. When you apply the monetary theory of inflation formula over this 40-year interval, comparing the money supply M2 growth first income, GDP growth rate, you see that the real inflation figure, ready for it, has been 17.5%, 17.5% year over year for the past 40 years. Ironic coincidence, you shouldn't merely compare it to interest rates. Real inflation, 17.5% year over year for the last 40 years. That's the power of fiat, ladies and gentlemen. It's fantastic. It is great for causing inflation. Obviously, Bitcoin, The Price of Tomorrow. If you haven't read that book by Jeff Booth, everything gets cheaper on a Bitcoin standard. It deflates. Crazy, hey? 17.5%. They dirty fiat. So this is Jerome Powell's talking points. Does it work here? Alrighty. So the Federal Reserve held steady on interest rates at the conclusion of its March meeting. It's sticking with its forecast for 3 interest rate cuts. That's this year. Probably starting I don't know, this is speculation, ladies and gentlemen, but Q3 leading into the presidential election, I can see it happening around that time. I also see that's when they're going to start the money printer. So during a news conference, Fed Chair Papa Powell noted that a strong jobs market wouldn't deter the central bank from cutting rates. We'll fly through it, but there's some really cool things, some real good double speak to make you think that they say it's amazing, the misinformation, the propaganda. It's really entertaining, basically. And the whole world's watching this. It's absolutely fantastic. If you are getting value, smash the like, subscribe if we vibe. Let's dive back into Papa Powell. So, Fed Reserve Chair Papa Powell will continue. Should we just call him Papa Powell or Papa? We'll continue to see confirmation inflation. Inflation is moving close to the central bank's 2% target, even after a recent spate of hotter inflation. Oh, towards the end, this is amazing. Nonetheless, we're looking for data that confirms the low readings that we had last year and gives us a high degree of confidence that what we saw was really inflation moving sustainably down to 2%. Like what? It gave us a high degree of confidence that what we saw was really inflation moving sustainably down to 2%. We know it wasn't. Everybody knows it's not. Just even Papa Powell, with all his money, being the money printer dude. Like, you can't get any closer to the money printer than Papa Powell. He will still be experiencing higher than 2% inflation, but they're looking for a higher degree of confidence that they really saw it. Frick, they know they really saw it. Strong hiring in and of itself would not be a reason to hold off on rate cuts. It's positive for rate cuts. Rate cuts are double-edged sword, sort of like CJ was saying there. They can't win either way. The only way that you as a person, as an individual, can win is with Bitcoin, the world's hardest, strongest asset. Anyway, Papa Powell said, adding that the job market by itself is not cause for concern around inflation. Earlier, Powell said an unexpected weakening in the labour market could also warrant a policy response. Yeah, money printing. Major inflation data points, the consumer, the CPI, and personal consumption expenditure rose for both Jan and Feb. Feb Chair Jerome Powell thinks this data is just further proof. What? Like, listen to this really crazy. I'll start again. We'll set it up. So, major inflation data points. The consumer price index, the CPI, and personal consumption expenditure rose for both January and February. So Fed Chair Jerome Powell thinks that this data is just further proof of inflation's non-linear path downwards. How does that make sense? Can anyone unpack that? Does that make sense? So inflation went up. They saw the inflation go up. And it's further proof that inflation is going down because we saw it go up. Can somebody please make that make sense to me? I think that's doublethink. I think that is doublethink. That's crazy. So Powell has perhaps shown his cards. He needs a good reason not to cut rates. He needs a good reason not to cut rates, not the other way around, rather than a reason to cut rates. Market perhaps couldn't have asked for more from the Fed, and equities will celebrate. It's going to get pretty bullish. We'll dive into the price chart really shortly. And shout out to everyone that is jumping on the live in the last couple of minutes, that is watching the replay, that has been here from the start. You're all legends. We're so blessed to be here on this day, a glorious day. Bitcoin's still cheap. Anything under $1 million is still cheap. We'll keep buying the top. Anyway, we believe that our policy rate is likely at its peak for this type of cycle, and that if the economy evolves broadly as expected, it will likely be appropriate to begin dialing back policy restraint at some point this year. He also reiterated his confidence in the Fed's target inflation rate of 2%. Magic man, absolute magic man. That made absolutely no sense to me. Maybe I'm a little bit dull and what he was saying was just truth. I don't think so. Real quick, shout out to the Bitcoin Lab. So myself and Christian put this together for you. I actually really put it together for me to be able to wear clothes that I wanted to wear. I always wear the Bitcoin clothes. Here's the Bitcoin hat. There's the Bitcoin logo. Buy, stack, and chill on the back. On the website, the buy, stack, and chill is the only one with the G'day Bitcoin. Everything else is under the Bitcoin Lab. If you have a look on the front of them, let's bring up this one here. Read the books or eat the bugs. Never more important than ever. That's on the back there. And on the front, we have the Bitcoin Lab. So the bitcoinlab.io. If you jump over there and you sign up, you can get a discount straight away. Really helps support the channel. And Christian, thanks so much, brother, for helping set this up and working together with me on that. Just wanted something that was more me so I could walk around, start a conversation. That was real cool. I had to get a Mac the other day to take to Bitcoin Alive. Went into Harvey Norman, sat down, blah, blah, blah. And the guy's like, oh, you're into that Bitcoin thing. I'm like, yeah, you not into that Bitcoin thing? He's like, what do you mean? And I just made him question himself why he hadn't bought yet. And then we started the conversation. I said, man, you're going to keep working. Numbers, your fiat dollars are going down, purchasing power, Bitcoin's going up. Here's my card, which said, G'day, Bitcoin, buy, stack, and chill. That's Orange Pill. Read the books or eat the bugs. So if you are watching, brother, good on you for taking that leap and saving yourself. Anyway, it's conversation starter. That's why I wanted it, to be able to send the Bitcoin back signal. Now, Peter is amazing. And they're so salty, gold bugs. It's incredible. I was really thinking about it last night, contemplating about why. I said it at the start. They are so salty. They've wasted all this time for Gold's Day. And Gold's Day would have been here. It would have been here very, very close. But then Bitcoin came along and gold's obsolete now in regards to the financial institutions, in regards to the economy in general. Bitcoin's scarcer. You can't dig up more. If the price goes up, you cannot bring on more supply. It's still cheap, but limited to 21 million. Say when Bitcoin gets to 1 million, 10 million, whatever it is, I'm not giving a price target. And the market cap's so big, the volatility is so small. Nation states are using it. Like, you can't just send gold from me to you. Anyone in the chat, I could just send Bitcoin. Nobody can stop us. You can't do that with gold. So no wonder they're so salty. I sort of feel for them, because they're quite right with a lot of things. Fiat is stuffed. We need a solid, hard asset they can't print more of. Just Bitcoin's better at everything, Peter. So I'm so sorry, my man. And cop it on the chin. Keep some of your gold. It's nice. It's a solid asset. It's good vibrations. Whatever, man. Enjoy it like people enjoy crystals. I enjoy crystals. Whatever. That's all gold is. It's just a shiny rock. Bitcoin is pure truth, pure energy, the hardest thing that's ever existed. That's pretty wild. And please just read the books, but just buy, stack, and chill, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, Peter Schiff, when Bitcoin has a big overnight gain, it's the lead story on Squawk CNBC. In fact, on those days, discussions of Bitcoin dominate the 7 a.m. hour. Yet this morning, with Bitcoin down 6% overnight, a huge move. It's not a huge move. So if we're at 100,000, we get a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 downward candle. The 30% is a huge move. The 6%, that's nothing, Peter. That's because gold goes up, 0.5%, and they get all happy. I won't say what I'm thinking. That's why they don't care. But they should be talking about and telling people to buy Bitcoin, because it's on sale. It's a discount. Bitcoin wasn't mentioned once during the entire hour because it's irrelevant. Anyway, imagine making these kinds of comments. Oh, there's more saltiness from Peter Schiff. But I don't know. Do I like him? Losing a lot of respect for him, but he's good with the economy. I think he's the only gold bug that has the permission to talk about Bitcoin and use Bitcoin as engagement trolling, because we can engage and troll him back. Anyway, imagine making these kinds of comments when the guy you're criticizing is up nearly 900% in 5 years and your gold fund hasn't even cracked 5% over the same period, despite spot gold being up 66% in the same time frame. Wow. Yeah, actually, I don't like Peter in regards to that. I remembered a couple of things. Telling people not to buy Bitcoin. Wow. He has destroyed a lot of people's financial future, their freedom. A lot of those people are going to continue to keep working. Maybe some of them are dead because they worked themselves into the ground so much because they weren't on the Bitcoin standard. Harsh, yeah, but true, yeah. Despite spot gold. So spot gold was up 66% and his gold fund didn't even crack 5%. Now, this is what he had to say. This is the chart. MicroStrategy up and to the right. It's like Bitcoin. MicroStrategy is already down over 115 million on the Bitcoin it just bought with borrowed money. But that's the power of DCA, Peter. Yeah, I'm really starting to get over the shift, fella. He's a little bit shifty. I wonder why Saylor always borrows money to buy Bitcoin after a big move up. Duh. It looks like his true intention is to manipulate the Bitcoin price higher as he dumps his own MicroStrategy shares. Okay. I'll leave that one as a bit of food for thought. Now, Greenpeace, this is not their first propaganda campaign. We'll dive into it a little bit. It's actually pretty despicable. So XRP, Ripple Labs, paid them $5 million to put out a disinformation in regards to Bitcoin. Obviously, XRP, Ripple wants to be the CBDC payment rail. They don't like Bitcoin because it represents freedom. It's decentralized. Nobody can stop it. Nobody can get in the way between you and I. Nobody can shut down the network. No one can change the supply. No one can change the issuance schedule. It's out there in the open. It's unstoppable. It's literally an unstoppable time machine. It's just counting time and creating value. Anyway, Greenpeace, great propaganda company. Now, it's unfortunate. I used to respect him, especially when I was younger. No longer, not at all. Just released an explosive new report exposing the deep ties between the fossil fuel industry. I'm pro for that. Right-wing climate deniers, I'm pro for that as well. And the growing lobbying network pushing a plan to save dirty coal and gas plants with Bitcoin. I'm pro for that. In regards to coal and gas plants, I would be happy not to have them if we had nuclear. There's no other option. Hydroelectric, yes, but you can't get that everywhere. Aside from that, what other options? Solar, wind, tidal, not reliable. Not good. Anyway, there was a community note. I was lucky enough to add a little bit of feedback on this yesterday. You rated as helpful, and I did think it was really helpful. But anyway, what I want to do is for you to do a little bit of your own research. At Sean Clark 911, dive into those 4 articles there. The Bloomberg one, you can't see too much of it. It's always behind that paywall. They dive a little bit into what happened with Ripple there. So more billionaires continue to cash out. Michael Dell sells now 145 million worth of Dell, bringing his total sales to 500 million over the past 2 months. There's a sound, and it's a peculiar sound that just happened here in the room. So above this roof, there's like these wooden beams that are about this big by that thick, and there's a gap between them, and they go through like over the whole roof. We have had snakes in there before, and the sound it made sounded like a big snake. So we'll see. I'll get in there later. Anyway, the joys of living in Australia. Snakes are actually really epic. Prefer it's a carpet snake or a python. Anyway, Dell joins billionaires like Zuckerberg and Bezos offload hundreds of millions in stocks this past month. Interesting. What do they know, ladies and gentlemen? Are they getting ready for a major dip? And with Powell, say we get a major dip like something that happened in March 2020, the 3rd of March 2020, Bitcoin comes smashing down, and they just like buy everything up. They own more. They become more powerful. Or even maybe Bitcoin comes down. These guys, they're ready for something to consolidate more power. I'll just be aware of that. I'm opting out with Bitcoin. I'm planned. I'm prepared. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a cyber attack this year. And very interesting comments there over on X. And in regards to the water supply, I need to dive into that. Them attacking the water supply. Consider preparing for a US dollar regime shift. Cautioned. Yeah, it's definitely a snake. Caution Lisa Chalet. Deteriorating relations with China, then the yield curve management in Japan, and the rising Bitcoin commodity price suggest the currency run might be hitting its limit. I'm preparing like crazy. I've been preparing for the last 4 years, not every day, but every week, consistently, and I won't be stopping. Whether this takes another day, another week, another year to come crashing down, maybe it's 5 years, 10 years. We can see where it's heading. The trend in fiat is not your friend, ladies and gentlemen, not in the slightest. Frickin' ordinals. Anyway, legendary rapper Ghostface Killer. Imagine that name, Ghostface Killer. I'm going to have to Google him. He's probably got some pretty cool beats. Anyway, I was listening to some cool, positive hip-hop rap this morning. It was nice. Before we went live, just inscribed his newest music on Ordinals. The song will live on Bitcoin for all of eternity. Fantastic. We need music on Bitcoin far out. It's not for that. It's, in my opinion, it's there to store value, send value, and be verifiable. Anyway, I don't know, bring people in. Pop culture, I get it. The memes, yeah, whatever. I'm not for ordinals, ladies and gentlemen. That's not my cup of tea. And I did ask who'd you like to see on, and there's one person recommended someone that sounded very interesting, but he wants to build on the main chain. It's not my interest. It's not something I want to give exposure to. So market cap, it is under 1.3 trillion at $1.278 trillion. If we have a look here, and go on to the 1 day chart, and we'll go on to the 1 minute chart. Well, let's not go on the 1 minute. It gives you epilepsy. So Bitcoin's at 66,452. It's pumping, ladies and gentlemen. It's having a really, really good day. Can we just go back to the normal chart? The 1 minute chart, it makes me feel tripped out, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but do you get what I mean? Like, it just moves so quick and it's too much dopamine for me. So we've had a low of 60,000. So 5,000, nearly a $6,000 candle in the last 24 hours. It's nothing, ladies and gentlemen. Like, if you're noticing it, fundamentally, unfortunately, you're doing something wrong. Like, you can look at the price of your portfolio. It's all exciting, but please just get into the mind frame that when this button is red, you smash it twice. When it's green, you smash it once. And don't worry that you're not getting as many Satoshis, because all you need to do is wait and just give it time, ladies and gentlemen. But $6,000, cool, you know, like whatever. It's like, that's a big move. That's actually a lot of money. The market cap has changed dramatically, but Bitcoin's still cheap. And that's the message. Just buy, stack, and chill. Please make the most of it. It's not going to last forever. Anything under $1 million is still cheap, but we want to dial it back. And I'm not calling for $1 million. Eventually, Bitcoin will be $1 million. It's either 0 or million, not $0. So let's tone it down a little bit. Anything under 100,000, 150, under $200,000 is still cheap. So push it when it's green, push it when it's red. And I was thinking about a shirt on how to make it, because that's a lot of words, and somebody asked me anyway. We'll dive into that at the banter in the end. Just a little bit of news that probably the maxis out here, if you're an ETH, why? Anyway, I won't FUD you today. You've heard my thoughts on all these S coins. Don't be a degenerate gambler. If you are going to be a degenerate gambler, because let's be honest, some of you will be, and I think that's silly, and I believe that you will think it's silly when you look back in time. People are still going to do it. It's like when your parents, when you're younger, say, don't touch the hot plate, and you touch the hot plate, and then you learn from it. Maybe you touch it one more time and you get burnt twice, and you're like, all right, once was enough. Twice, yep, all right, I've learned my lesson, I'm walking away. So play around, whatever. If you need to, I'd recommend not doing it. It's your money, it's your choice, but please just have most in Bitcoin. Like 99%, you know, at least 95%, 99% of whatever you're putting into digital assets, into Bitcoin anyway. Ethereum Foundation faces inquiry from a government. Fortune says SEC investigating ETH. So after the publication of this article, Fortune reported the SEC seeks to classify ETH as a security because it is a security. And they're all securities, ladies and gentlemen. So it's like, that's a proper Ponzi. All these altcoins are just narrative based. The tech, do we need it? Probably not for what they're doing. Like they say decentralized, they're centralized as S. Like, so they could just be on a server, like Amazon Web Server. They don't need a blockchain for what they're doing. Anyway, tomorrow I'm flying to Sydney, Bitcoin Alive. I am so hyped, so excited. If you are going, please say hello to me. I cannot wait. I will be interviewing Michael Dunworth Saturday morning, first thing. I am so excited for that. Peter Dunworth. I'm lining up Michael Dunworth. Daz B, the author of Beers for Bitcoin, if we can make the time fly. Eric Kaysen, I've not finished his book yet. I've got about 10% left. Like I was talking about it the other day, Crypto Sovereignty. If you've read at least 4 other Bitcoin books, then you can read that book. Like, he is so radical and it's such an enjoyable read, and I don't agree with a lot of it, but absolutely fascinating. If I can dive into a conversation with him, into his mind, that will be an epic podcast there. But if you are going, reach out. If you haven't bought tickets, there's a discount code. I don't get anything back. If I do get anything back, I'll donate it to my mate's animal sanctuary. If you're in Australia, obviously, if you buy a ticket, you're getting less Satoshis. But to be around Bitcoiners, like for me, I'm so isolated with normies. That's why I show up every day and talk Bitcoin, to be with Bitcoiners. So that's why I'm going to the conference. Your money, it's your choice. If you are going, please say g'day. I really look forward to seeing everyone there. It's going to be freaking incredible. Like, there's some really cool people. This Robbie dude, he's this rapper guy, put a video out on X yesterday. Robbie P looks super cool. Tip and Zed is going to be there, I'm sure, unless something happened. Dawn? Oh no. See, Crypto Sovereignty, Eric Case and Danny Knowles be doing a podcast with him, co-host of the What Bitcoin Did podcast. Anyway, there are some legends in the chat, so let's dive over. Jason Mercer, good morning. Ethersphere with the Federal Reserve replaced by a bunch of random dudes. Just really quickly, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to dive into the comments really quickly, and got a big day getting ready for tomorrow, flying over there. But please just buy, stack, and chill. And if we vibe, hit that subscribe button and smash the like while you're there. It helps out a lot. Truly grateful. It gets the Bitcoin signal out there daily, the news with the fast facts. Just on that, tomorrow morning, because I'm up so early, I may not get the news out, or maybe I may go live from the airport or something. Be nice to go live from Bondi, but I believe I will be doing a podcast and that will be pre-recorded. So if you don't see me tomorrow, I'll be back on Monday, Australian time. Just an FYI. Anyway, jumping into the comment section, Jason Mercer, Stack the Dip, Baseline Benny in the house, Diesel Kane. I will go to the next Bitcoin conference in Melbourne. Super cool. And Diesel, if you're in Melbourne, I'll be there in May if you want to connect. Be cool. Phil, we jumped through that. Peter rules. Yeah, Ether's a scam. 100% agree. G'day, everyone. I'm a reformed S-coiner. Me too. And that's why I can say it with so much conviction. It's not worth your time. It is a mind virus. It's a brain drain. It is not good. Rory Saylor, Bitcoin alive, mate. Cannot wait. Let's go. G'day, Sean and Chad. Good morning, Elaine, Gargoyle. Where is McLovin this morning? Is McLovin missing? Bro, I hope you watch the replay. His name makes my day every day. Check out Method Man, Wu-Tang Clan. Ain't nothing to fuck with. Oh, check out Method Man. I know the Wu-Tang Clan. Enjoy the dip. Bitcoin on 20% off sale. Already got retro emulators on the blockchain. Okay. Ghostface Kia is the Wu-Tang Clan. Awesome stuff. Old school. Cool. I'll check it out. Again, listen, haven't heard them for a very long time. Definitely know of them. Tom Crown, first time YouTubers show me your stream. See you coming up on years of streaming. Congrats, 7K subs is something to be proud of. Tom Crown, truly appreciate that, brother. Good to have you here. Do it because I love it. And for that, it makes my day every day. Truly, I'm grateful. I'm very humbled. And actually, you know, here's a shill. Like, maybe I no longer have it up there. Wherever the Bitcoin lab is, I'll bring it up. I'm happy to shill this. I'm proud of working with Christian to make this. I wanted clothes, something just a little bit different. That was more me. Where is it? This one. This is how I feel every day being in Bitcoin. Humble. It's amazing. So thank you, everyone. All stars are aligned 100%. London Stock Exchange approved Bitcoin as an investment. Japan is looking to add Bitcoin to their pension fund. Hong Kong is about to release an in-kind Bitcoin spot Bitcoin ETF. Yeah, all right. I haven't slept real well with the dog and stuff over the last week. Thanks, everyone, for... If you know, you know. You know, it's part of life. These things happen. The dog's still fine, you know. But lack of sleep, it messes. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. If we vibe, hit subscribe. Go out and do something nice. You're all beautiful people. Well done on being here and actually changing your life. Like, again, as Nico Moran says, and it's so true, it's Bitcoin or slavery. Like, without Bitcoin, I don't know, I would be nihilistic. But I'm not. I've so much joy. And, you know, I feel humble for being here to be with all you, because Bitcoin really does make the world a better place. It does allow us to build back better. That's what's happening on the Bitcoin Standard. Anyway, hopefully I get to see you all tomorrow. Leave a comment, say hi, and otherwise I'll see you on Monday. Be blessed. Peace. You're all beautiful. Enjoy. Stack. Chill.